nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, first I want to get this displayed, but Joe, Sean.
That was on you.
That's on me.
Let me see about my IT hat.
Is it the right cable?
We haven't shut our on your computer side.
I thought I turned it on. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, hold on with you.
Oh, I think it was disconnected.
No problems. No worries. I just didn't want to. Gosh, look at this.
Just like this, so. Okay, so I'm going to start off by sharing the cover page that we had with the tentative budget, just to give you everyone some information. What was it here?
This we're not missing a baseball.
No, we're not. Okay,
Is that the one you wanted to share?
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what this bottom is.
That's from the screen itself.
Yeah, Sean, if you could hit exit on a remote or escape.
Okay.
Ah, there you go, okay. Okay, so we're gonna be reviewing the tentative budget tonight, and we have the major department heads here. But I wanted to review where we are with the with the tentative. And so basically here I listed out the components which contributed to the $1.2 million net increase in expenses and $478,000 net increase in revenue in the tentative budget as compared to the 2025 adopted budget.
I didn't get it.
I'm sorry?
I didn't get this on the email page.
It was a,
Oh, it was in the printout.
You
It was
got
in
it
the
last meeting?
yeah, Monday.
Was the cover page.
Yeah. But I can email it. Yeah. So basically, we have county sales tax revenue, we have that going up by 77,000, building department fees, we increased that by 350,000, finance interest income was subtracted 125,000. Mortgage tax revenue plus 50,000, judicial revenue plus 25,000, receiver of taxes, interest and penalties plus 95,000. Highway department expense plus 309,000, police department expense plus 160,000. Maintenance, 103,000 in the plus side. Library subsidies, an additional 95,000. Parks and Rec expense, an additional 132,000. And then we have the WEMS, which is the ambulance service, the ALS,
Yeah.
Advanced Life Support. That's up by 41,000. So the New York State tax cap for the town of Lewisboro for 2026 is 2.51%. And we are currently $1,067,000 over the tax cap, which equates to a tax increase of 14.67%. And the proposed tax levy for 2026 is just over $10 million. So the areas that we're going to look at for getting us closer or to the tax cap is to revisit all the revenue lines, revisit all the expense lines for potential cuts, and consider use of fund balance and potential property sale, like we did a couple of years back. So that's where we are. That's the overall summary. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to display. We'll stop sharing this here.
Are there any like approximate percentages what the increase year over year? I know we have the raw numbers as far as the ones. Like approximate percentage numbers somewhere, just about that.
That's fair.
Yeah, so
I
a
think-
lot of are like about 40, 7%.
That's the range. Okay. No, the libraries.
Libraries 15%. It's their request.
Okay, so the other departments are ranging between 7 and 10, libraries approximately 15. Thank you.
Okay,
I
so
do have
it's okay.
So. Last year, I believe we started this conversation last year at this time, at the budget season. We revisited it again. At the beginning of the year. We revisited it again with our consultants. Capital projects plan, because I think it's really difficult, especially, last year we tried something new with the fund balance.
Mhm.
In order to keep it under its cap, it's not to cap. And this was a learning year, I think for all of us to see how that worked out for us, to see if we would be able to do it again or more. But one thing we haven't taken into consideration, I really think that we need to. Is a list of our most pressing expected capital expenditures over the next few years, and I think for the most part. All of us have a handle on what those are, the police station, the court as or
Right.
other things, renovations of the building that we purchased. And I think that, for those of us who took the time to go out with John this past 2 weeks. Looking at the highway garage currently in the salt dome and the fact that there's a lack of space and the trucks don't go inside, that we're looking. In the future
Yeah.
to a new location potentially, which
Right.
may require the purchase of property. And so I think that it would be healthy for us to have a list of at least what we may be looking on at the
Right.
next 4 years or 3 years or whatever.
So that's-
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's a separate discussion than the operations budget,
Okay.
right? But that is something that we've already, we're gonna be
Yeah,
starting.
in the process this
Yeah.
year, I asked all the department heads to give me their capital wish list, if you will. I went back and then asked if they could map it out over a few years, so it is definitely part of this process. And that's why my recommendation is to take, rather than use the fund balance to balance the budget, to appropriate some capital expenses out of that fund balance. For sweeps and everything that's aging out and all those things, so it is part of the process in a different way.
It stinks getting old.
What's that?
I said it stinks getting old. The fleet of trucks is getting old and we all know it stinks getting old. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Right.
all right, so I'm gonna share the spreadsheet. That we've been working on. So I'll start with the tax rate,
Remember the tax cap, I think that's,
tax cut.
this is where we see the 1,067,000 that we should come up with.
Yeah, let me just,
And that's where the current tax rate is calculated, at 14.67%, so the tax cap is 2.51%, so ideally. Our expenses should be going up by 2.5, by more than 2.5%, but everything is.
mhm.
Here
Where did we start at this part of the year? I think we were at a higher number where we're starting, if I remember.
We talked about this today, we were at 14
14.
point something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were at the same,
Pretty close.
actually, no, that was on the preliminary,
Yeah,
that
Oh,
was a preliminary, that was like after
More
the
like-
stage.
my recollection, we were
Yeah.
a few percentage points higher when we started out.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Yeah,
I was trying to see what that high.
Well, you have to start
We gotta start somewhere.
Okay.
So, we can start with the general revenue tab. This is the general fund revenue.
can everyone see that with the glare? Yeah, it's okay, so, shall we shut off this light maybe? Maybe this light.
That's a little too dreamy.
So. I think the biggest increase here is gonna be the building revenue. It's been budgeted at the same level for several years now, and that's part of why the fund balance has grown the way that it has. So I'm proposing adding a little bit more there because. We saw the revenue as it ended up in the past 3 years, that's a 3-year average, is 1.1 million. In the building revenue.
So we should ask questions as we go.
Yeah,
Department.
yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
so Kevin, you're comfortable with that? Because there's some, congrats on, the number was very good this year to date. The question is that sustainable based upon the fact that we're somewhat.
It's hard to give you that crystal ball.
we didn't.
Sorry. Can you
Oh,
go to the mic so our
Yeah.
friends
That's
don't can hear?
So it has been trending up over the last couple of years. We've had some substantial projects that have helped that. We have maybe one or two that are coming down the pipeline that may help us. We got a new subdivision that's probably coming to market relatively soon. So I think that's about as far as we want to push it for now, and obviously we want to exceed that at the end of the day, in a perfect world. But I think, we were being unrealistic on that number, but
Unrealistic in which way?
here in the years past, I mean, we inched it up, I think, $25,000-$30,000, each year. And this is a sizable jump, but if you look at where the revenues are coming, I mean, there should be no reason why, unless the market goes to hell, that we don't achieve that number.
Okay, so short answer is you're pretty comfortable keeping.
In general, it's been,
I know we had this discussion last year and you weren't comfortable. But
Yeah,
then
worried about the
things are going
market
well.
and
It's
you never know, there's
Yeah.
dynamics, the good news, interest rates are dropping, people may start refinancing and doing work on their houses.
Right,
This year we did make a substantial change on how we renew building permits, which took a hit. I mean, probably $75,000-$80,000, by changing the renewal fees, that they're much lower than they used to be. Because we got pushback from the community that they felt our numbers were too high, so we reacted it, the board reacted to it. And I think, most people appreciate that. But otherwise, that number would be even higher this year, I would think.
The town inventory for real estate is ballpark of the same as what it was a year ago, or
Well, you got a 13-14 lot subdivision coming on board that's just about ready to start building. There's another one going to planning that's probably gonna be 10 lots. Got Wolf Center that's coming down the road. And there's other stuff that's, would be substantial. I'm sorry.
New purchases or stuff.
Yes, yeah.
okay, so
Okay.
that's, yeah, the next one we have here is, finance, oh no, Parks and Rec, sorry.
Parks and Rec, 1.5 was their number for this year. Nicole, actually, I think it should be 155, so when the preliminary budget will be corrected, but I spoke to Nicole about Parks and Rec should be breaking even. So their revenue should be the cost of their programs, so that's the way Nicole built her budget
how we can know the number approximately from 10 months ago.
for 10 months. Would it be one?
We haven't, correct, we haven't done through October,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
you have
so
through
we're
third
still
quarter, yeah, so.
about 1.3.
So
And we are projecting that we will be our goal.
you're project, that's the whole.
That's the-
Right? And it's at the end of the day, if that's what it costs to run the programs, we have to be charging at least that much. It should not be incurring a loss. So the budget is basically built on how much we spend on programs.
I mean, you're saying this now, but that has not historically been the case, correct? There's always been some level of subsidy in Parks and Rec.
For the administrative piece, yeah, but their programming should.
Oh,
the revenue
okay,
Should
All right,
be
Two
we're
separate.
only
that's
looking at-
separate, yep.
okay, got it.
No, they function as every other department in town, but their programming should cost what
Right,
we
right.
charge.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay,
So finance interest is coming down a little bit because we haven't borrowed the money yet for the new building, so the fund balance has gone down temporarily. It will come back when we borrow.
When are we expecting to make that decision?
I have a call out to CMA right now. I'm asking them about their rates and what the borrowing would cost us. And my goal is that we wouldn't borrow for more than it would cost us in the interest that we use in the account, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
And actually, I just heard from one of the other supervisors or group of supervisors and meeting we had that the bond rates have actually come down quite a bit, so.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I hope.
Somewhere like in the 2.5% range.
That's,
what I-
yeah, would be great because we're going to be 4.5% in Flagstar account, so we
Yeah.
can less than that would be great.
Wow.
Grab it.
Big relief.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
great.
so next,
Fines and court costs, that's about where they are right now. Is around 200,000, so I projected that to be the full year for 26.
And that's money that we get It's, okay, because I know there's,
Share.
okay, that's, yeah, right,
We split it with the state.
yes, right, because I know.
As we are legally obliged to.
That's right.
Yeah, I just, okay, so that's our, okay, right.
Yeah, so
And then
this
you
one
have-
is down here, the franchise fees are around 240 right now, so that's where I put it
Mhm.
for next year. I put the, yeah, the
This is the.
cell
rental.
towers is
To sell
what they
towers.
gave us, I think.
Mhm.
That was their estimate. State aid is always the same. We get the same amount from the state every year. Sales tax, I increased it in the tentative line because we're trending. From the quarterly report we get from the state, we're trending at 2% higher than last year.
From the county.
From the county, right, so I put 2.5, 2% on top of what we budgeted for 25.
You know, this one scares me a little bit because of all the, gloomy economic news and people losing jobs and et cetera, et cetera. This is, I just want to register that. 'Cause
I agree, I know, well,
Yeah,
there's,
we-
there's
we
time to
actually-
run this town, we gotta find it somewhere.
We're actually reaching out to the county as well to get, because obviously they
Get their take.
put that into
They
their
know.
budget. So they kind of, yeah, so, yeah, we're gonna get an
We're gonna
update
see
on
their
that.
budget number.
Right.
So that will probably change. when we put it in. Mortgage tax, I spoke with Lisa, our tax assessor, and she said that she was comfortable going up to 600 with that number.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did very well with that.
Mhm.
We're trying, I think we still need the last,
We won't get the
last.
the next installment.
So, yeah,
that was just, it just raised a question offline based upon lack of input. To keep it,
You're explaining
well,
for.
last year, we had the same discussion last year, remember?
Yeah.
And we did great. Yeah. With like,
Going back to the Hilo franchise fees, we're limiting on what we can spend that money on, right?
I don't think so.
No.
What was the?
the cell tower is the one that goes to, like,
No, not the, I was thinking something else, I was thinking the money from.
For the audio
Oh,
visual
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and right, cell tower in the park goes to Parks and Rec.
correct, just on the cell tower.
Just right now.
Yeah.
So those are the talking points on the revenue side, if we look at the general fund expenses. So I think Tony, we said we're not gonna talk about.
Yeah, we're
salaries or
not gonna go through because it's still.
Benefits right now
negotiating.
because there's negotiations still happening, so.
So skip, so yeah, this is pretty much
The court's budget
made an
These are all-
investment.
has the request, so the LES rent is the moving piece right now. I think we're assuming we're gonna be there for at least 3 months of 2026.
But wait, what line on that?
LES rent and utilities. This is the way that budget was built for somebody, they put the LES rent in each of the departments, so PD has a piece. Just the court has a piece.
So do we have commitment for some?
Oh, there it
time, or
is.
it still?
June,
And that helps Parks and Rec too, because then we can use the gym for the winter
For their program.
programming and maybe spring as well.
Sure, yeah. Through June. They're in June.
through June 30th, right?
Yeah.
So that's a separate line in the budget.
Right,
So,
right. No,
LES
but
rent.
just thinking about the
Yeah.
big picture.
Supervisors line.
So
We tried to keep
what's
as
that?
much as we could flat,
Mhm.
considering the increases in other areas, sorry.
Sorry, we have a current target as far as occupancy, 92, so
A target,
for occupancy.
oh, at 892?
Was that tied
Hopefully,
to the-
first quarter. You know, we're wrapping up the second floor work. We're gonna be painting. And working with a company that's doing the office layout. And
So that's
furniture.
matching up with the first quarter year. Basically. something.
Roughly, yes. I mean, if we could go in January, we will. Whatever. Yeah. Okay, so,
So, come over the finance department. I don't know why that's why I wanted, but. Yeah, so we have vacancies in the finance department. I definitely need a full-time person, push for that for next year.
Yeah.
Um, I've been doing,
Freeze the top rows so that we.
yeah,
can
you know what, I was
see the-
thinking of that,
see the
I froze it on the
headers.
first page, but not this one.
Oh,
You're gonna have to do the first.
for 3 years.
Is it? Oh, presents. Oops.
well, one thing to mention about the town board operating expenses, that is, Hope's Door. So that went up this year. It's been $4,000 for the past few years. Now that's going up to 6.
These two.
Go down one row and freeze.
Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. No, yeah, that doesn't work.
That's
No, what let me
not.
do
It
is
was highlight only 5.
highlight only 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And then. I'm freezing them. There you
Oh, good.
go. Here.
Okay. All right, so we go down.
Yeah. Right.
So,
So that overseer tax.
We bump that up.
Sorry, external auditor went out the other day in lacking staff in the finance department. They supported me in doing the AFR. And they also did the management comments.
And the AFR for.
Yeah.
The annual financial report we filed in New York State. So we had to do a catch up. When I arrived, I didn't realize 2023 was not done. It was not finished.
Okay,
So they helped me finish that and
excellent,
helped me with the pension report.
so it's worth it.
Very, yes.
Would state control over those two.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a required reporting. We usually get an extension so that we do it based on the audit results. And we were granted that extension, but it still not by a long time. But we're caught up now, so that's a big news.
Double good news, bills.
And tax assessor,
Yeah.
mostly flat. I mean, the software costs have gone up, all across the board, finance, tax receiver, tax assessor. It's all gone up, so I want to say 10% is the increase on most of them.
Which is standard for software and applications.
It's everywhere, you know,
Yeah,
we're not.
between 8 and 12% was normal.
Right.
flat. Yes.
Yeah, professional fees have gone up, that's based on actual. The attorney consultant fees is. It's significantly higher.
Well, haven't it been a few years since we increased the rates? Quite a few years, actually.
Well, yeah.
We
Every
increased it
year.
last year.
It was increased, but the actuals are coming in even higher, so.
But I board would
And
take.
that came from Kirsten, she gave us the town engineer amount.
Production services, it's all. It's management.
Oh, my question.
So,
For Jen.
Joel.
Joe, so here's where we have an increase,
One gave me heart palpitations, it's fine.
maintenance workers,
But it's, I think moving to 892 is going to cost quite a bit. We just have to adjust the budget accordingly to run that building. Those are all given to us by Joel, those are all his figures, so if you have any questions.
so these maintenance, and yeah, we ran these by Joel, these adjustments that we made. So these maintenance, cleaning service.
Things expensive.
So he's in 70 to
Mhm.
970,000.
Right.
And that's just focused on the. How much of that is for the even too?
Not all of it, because you look
No,
at,
it's
Still have LES rent.
yeah,
It's the heating, it's the electricity. We don't know what those exact numbers are, but these are estimates that Joe put together
Based on this year,
based on this
where
year's.
we're at this year, yeah. So there's a little bit of overlap with LES. You're saying, is that what I heard?
Yes.
Two months or something, so.
Yeah.
That's it. What-
but the upside is we won't be paying as much rent to the school district,
I think the lingering office would be the police department rental.
right?
The
And
what?
the
The
gym,
last, well, yeah, the gym we've used, but as far as.
Oh, the lingering office, yeah,
It would
in
be-
terms of LES, right. We're trying to stay there's. Okay, so, yeah. Publishing, advertising,
Yeah, postage comes from.
so this went from 60 to 62. It's- well,
That's postage for.
It's the
Mail.
postage machine.
That's for sure.
Tax
bills too.
there we go. Tax
Yes,
separate.
um,
This is LES, yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Postage townhouse.
It's court, it's zoning, it's
Mhm.
planning and building.
This is postage for LES, this is
townhouse
postage for
mostly,
townhouse.
taxes are-
and I'm sure our town clerk mails a few things too, every now and then.
Maybe.
Are there any less mailing requirements? Than they used to be? So.
What, on paperless?
No, like, for example. Litigation,
Well-
where virtually everything is electronically filed, so you have stuff that's mailed out. Is,
Well, we talked
Dramatically
about
reduced.
reducing that as well for, especially when we're paying, accounts payable. Bills,
Checks, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, so, yeah, you see the claims reports that go out, like 100 bills every 2 weeks.
yeah, so I mean.
No, we do wanna go paperless, if we can, it's, let's look into it.
okay, cable TV coordinator.
That's based on the actuals,
Yeah.
anything that has gone down is based on property and casualty insurance, I put in a 5% increase. On bills like that.
And that's the one we're not gonna know until May.
That's our policy. We know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not exactly something we can go without.
No, just even for something, we could always be shopping around, as I'm sure broker does, Jorelli does.
Brown and Brown,
And also if we can. Let's take a look at the deductible. Let's see if that also work.
yeah. One thing I put back in here was the fund balance restoration, it's like a contingency line. There was just too many times this year that things came up outside of the budget and. Dipping into the fund balance, I'd like to keep a line for these outlier expenses that come up during the year that we can't plan on, so I would really like that line staying in there.
Makes sense.
And PD,
PD. So PD we have, so we have two new officers and. Yeah, full-time,
2 new full-time officers,
and we reduce, as a result, we reduce the part-time, and I guess.
Yeah.
Chief, if you wanna,
say anything?
you wanna step up to the plate, just,
Regarding salaries?
So, yeah, so,
In general.
no, your budget, so you have two officers, right? For a full year,
Yes.
and then you
hoping-
reduced your part-time line,
Yes, because they went from having 18 shifts, now they're down to 8 shifts, so the
Right.
full timers will be covering more shifts
right?
on that, giving the town a little more continuity.
Yeah,
Now is this with? Because I know the contracts
Yeah,
office
that's
that's showing,
not-
did you throw in any kind of percentage? or-
It's a Yeah,
Yeah, we're not talking about salaries or benefits, right?
yeah, we don't know
You
anything
have to
about it.
account for, yeah, the union increases.
Then I also put in there for a detective line, which would be new for the town,
Yeah,
2 days a week.
going down county for that.
Possibly 1 day a week if they're slow, they could go down to real-time crime center down to Westchester County, work on cases from in town, whether they're older cases, cold cases that the state police never solved. They could look into those. There's red flag laws. There's a lot of executive laws that came out recently. Red flag law being one of them, which is the extreme risk protection orders where you could take firearms away from, people that are either mentally ill. Now they're pushing it more for domestic violence as well. So these are very time consuming. You need to go down to county court and all that kind of stuff. And you usually don't really want a uniformed officer to be dealing with victims of domestic violence, juveniles, all that kind of stuff. There's a new executive order straight from the governor regarding sexual assault victims. You need to basically have the law. I printed it out. But you basically need to designate somebody in the police department who specializes in the specific training, which we don't have, so I would have to send somebody to that. 838-A, section 3A, new executive law. Again, juvenile officer, somebody, it's nice to have somebody in non-uniform. So,
Question is the change with the new hires, does that have any impact as far as the team line go?
I think it's gonna draw the overtime line down. Right now I just did payroll. I mean, I got beat up again today doing last 2 weeks payroll because of, I'm gonna say it, civil service dragging their feet. We put stuff on their desk and it's taken almost months now to approve these 2 new hires or one of the new hires right now, but which I honestly, in my eyes, would take me 5 minutes to be like, yep, residency, he lives here, done, check the box, boom, you could hire him.
So you have a clap, but 26, that may come down.
I believe that should come down. The overtime, again, it's the old magic crystal ball. You never know what happens with incidents and, you can't predict overtime because you get off at 3, you get a call that comes in at 2:30 and you gotta work it. So.
And you're keeping everything else about the same, like conference.
Yeah, the,
Education and all that is.
Yeah, the chief went over this pretty thoroughly,
Yeah.
with me even before.
It looks good.
It's not a lot of wiggle room. A
No,
lot of it's the same as last year. Most of it's all contractual.
Yep.
Again, the only thing I added was the detective line and I mean, the residents have spoke about that and business owners in town.
We could really use it.
that's
it's
this
a
one,
police officer, but that's the new detective line, so we're gonna change the name of that, and the adjustment there is really just the timing of the hire, I think we
Yeah.
talked about. If he's there for the full year, it would be the 45, and just.
So I originally put in 45,000, 35,000 for a part-time officer. I have probably 4 officers that are, have detective sergeant experience from other jurisdictions that are part-time that are capped at 35,000. I put an extra 10,000 in there to have somebody work the cases with them. Sometimes you need an extra body to canvass and knock on doors and really work a case. Sometimes it involves more than just one person. So I kind of just threw that 10,000 in there. And also to get one of my younger part-time patrol officers get their feet wet, learning from a detective sergeant from another, from past experience. So they could, mentor to kind of really
but we brought it back.
learn
to
the job.
35, right? This-
Yeah, that's what the chief is saying, the
Yeah,
35, that's kind of the extra help.
Right.
For the detective.
Right.
I'm okay to lose that 10,000, but I think that 35,000 is very important for the town.
Yeah.
And then I could revisit it next year or the following year.
Looking it over again.
I'd love to give you back some more money, but
So let's see.
Well, maybe we can see if there's anything as far as grants out there.
I utilize, I mean, you can see,
Job and spectacular.
Yeah.
grant.
I'm
Definitely.
figured across this year that, the federal government aren't gonna be cutting back a lot with everything that's going on, so. But
Good point.
we'll see.
Vehicle maintenance, you also,
We took that down a little bit because
we got
we're hoping to get some
cars.
cars in the fleet. Next year as part of the capital
right,
plan.
so
We
we're,
already ordered one, right?
Once again, my luck. So that vehicle that I needed that emergency this year, it has 2 open recalls. And they can't release the vehicle until those recalls are satisfied and completed. And they don't have.
Say,
But the problem is I did the mini bid, I did everything, I won the mini bid, and a Ford dealership out of Nanuet. And they don't have a fix until the end of Q4, which is the end of December.
This year, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
okay.
I needed it yesterday, but I tried. The only good thing is that they're willing to take it up to the vehicle outfitter to build it. And that'll be, the parts aren't even in yet, so it'll be probably next week, and then 2 weeks of probably building it out and then bringing it back. Hopefully there's a resolution by then.
Right, okay.
Fingers crossed.
So we have.
Where does, we have any storage, data storage costs and the body cameras and.
That's-
Yeah, that.
License plate readers we own, we're good with that. As far as the body cam, it's
That's this line.
firearms, taser body cam.
30,000.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's about $27,000 a year. The other 3,000, I buy ammo to shoot everybody every year, qualifications. And that's a contract
Wait,
with Axon.
you might want to rephrase that. You said. Everybody.
Let everyone qualified, I'm sorry, for those people at home listening.
Fire.
Treat everybody to a little course.
yeah. That's funny. All right, so that's
Yeah.
30, yeah.
Moving,
Okay.
moving
So
right along.
Okay, so.
The state retirement was a huge jump.
Yeah.
That's dictated by the state,
So we're from 1.68 to 1.84. Is that the difference there, Annie? 160, okay. Okay, then we had a patrol officer, that's,
Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
thank you, yeah. Building inspector, yeah, we talked about. We talked about the revenue side, but yeah. We have a line for deputies still for code enforcement or deputies, so we're planning on doing something there.
Kevin was talking about the scanning project, which is definitely on their radar. We'd love to get it done next year, but that's really grant dependent. We can get the grant to do that scanning.
That's not reflected.
No, so
Yeah.
that's 14,000 in his office supplies line,
Well,
Was for
okay,
the
yeah,
scanner.
right, yeah,
but I'm hoping we get a grant for that.
that's why it's like that, yeah. Right,
So the deputy is part-time. So,
Deputy is part-time for part of the year.
Part-time.
Part-time all year, that's right.
wait, that's the stamp grant. Okay, so we just. this.
Time. That's what we need.
ALS, that's the ambulatory services, that was in 6% increase that
Right,
is contractual.
Yeah,
Don't
there's
have to show
no,
some.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's an important thing to have.
Of course.
UPC. Say,
Um,
which is
so-
actually, that's
The
Thrive,
Coalition.
yeah.
And really important, they've been doing a lot of great work. The students are really well engaged. So we could use one more volunteer as a parent representative but they're continuing, they've gone through 1 year of a CDC grant,
Mhm.
a huge grant, so they're increasing the sustainability and building out
Mhm.
to make it stronger.
This is the general fund portion of highway expenses, which is John's salary, which we're not getting into payroll tonight, but. One thing John requested was to move street signs from the D fund to the A fund, so moving it from highway to general. Which makes sense. He'll manage it, but it'll just be part of the general fund expenses.
Right.
And recreation.
The-
First part here is the admin side of recreation.
so. Yeah, it's pretty flat.
Yeah.
Here. It's
Right.
Appreciations.
And then the park workers,
Right, that's all contractual.
door furnishings was called picnic table for one, James.
Okay. Love that, identified that one. Equipment, still from 6 to 17,000.
We took out the, because that's gonna be a capital
Yeah,
purchase for
okay.
the mower.
right.
Right.
Okay, fuel.
So to explain to the neighbors at home, rather than when we pay for things like mowers or trucks or fleet for the police, that should be in the capital budget
It's a capital
rather than
expense.
the operating.
Yeah, the auditor's guideline is anything over $5,000, it's considered a capital
Okay.
purchase and goes into the assets of the town. So, to not have this as part of an expense in your budget, I'm hoping to
Sure.
appropriate fund balance to capital purchases for all departments.
Maybe that's a scanner, and be that too.
It would, but I'm hoping it could.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's in the page, like, do not, yes.
So the playgrounds and lake cam. Lake sign, okay.
Yeah, Nicole went over this, do you wanna, fix them up, okay?
I'd like to go back to that overtime line though in the parks. And I would like to request that 1,500 be placed back in. My parks guys work weekends. They work events. So when we rent out the facilities, they do come in, they line fields. When we rent the fields out, if LBA or soccer, anything that's going on, they are coming in, and with their salaries increasing, so is that overtime line. So going down fields and play area maintenance, I did request the additional 6,000 for fertilizing and seeding the fields. They do need it desperately, so
They're in rough shape.
yeah, they are in rough shape, so I would like that added back in. Last Friday, I had received an email from Annie, with Tony on it, requesting to find $97,000 in my budget, so that's where I increased my revenue by 50,000. And then I cut about 45 and change, so there are areas that I have pulled from, so I could kind of
Yeah. that's-
highlight, and that's not in here, right, so.
No, that'll be in the preliminary. All the
Okay.
changes will be back to what they were. This was just getting us to the tentative to make it so that Parks and Rec wasn't.
Correct, right.
And the vehicle and equipment.
So the
repairs.
vehicle and equipment repairs, we doubled, we spent $9,000 this year. And that's why I requested that much. Our vehicles and equipment are getting older. And, you know, the repairs are needed. So
So you want this 500?
I would like to be safe, other than,
When we send those things out for repair, the equipment that you have in parts, where do they go?
the maintenance department. Zach does a lot of repairs.
Okay, so this, the 9,000 is basically the parts.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
thank you.
Okay, so then we have. So for, yeah, okay.
Do you want me to discuss the areas that I suggested to cut from?
Sure,
Okay,
if you want to.
Forward, sure, do we want to just keep,
It will be in the preliminary. It
Okay.
will be your version.
okay.
Yeah,
why don't we
this was published before we cut back to each other.
Right.
Anything you want to get on?
I mean, I suggested that we remove some funds from day camp counselors, day camp aquatics, combined camps, teen treks. And then going down to pool as well. Directors and head guards, lifeguards. Gate attendants and maintenance, and then swim team coaches and lessons. So you will see a decrease in those seasonal salaries.
The lifeguards went up, right? And.
We had increased, but when I emailed you and Tony back, I mean, you and Annie back.
Yeah.
I had dropped it down to 200, so yeah.
Everything else on here is pretty flat. It's pretty.
And then everything else is pretty flat, correct?
So difference 436 to 477. And here, that is facility. Here it's actually less, went from 42 to 38. Oops.
And then I also recommended a few adjustments in youth programs. Youth recreation supervisor, which is where our referees are paid out of. So any of the individuals that sign up for payroll to be paid by check rather than contractual, they would come out of that line. So we only have one signed up to be paid that way this season. So for the new year, it would be less than that. Decrease in winter, spring, summer programs, and then as well as ski trips. And then we would see potentially a decrease in LES gym rental maintenance.
Mhm.
Obviously, I would like to hope that we have it past June 30th, but yes,
Again, that's not, those figures are not reflected.
correct, correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so 397, 399, so. Yeah. Program for the aging. Okay, so,
I didn't have any changes there.
yeah, just
The nutrition program went up, right?
Right, I mean, and that's something that is so difficult to budget for because we are billed from the year previous and it's not, right,
And that's Meals on Wheels.
correct.
Maybe we could change the name of that. Maybe program that you're aging, maybe we should.
Well, it's
Maybe
not,
bring it to the 21st century.
Yeah.
They don't like to be called seniors either.
Residents.
They don't like to be called seniors either, so.
I'm eligible.
Moving right along.
yeah, okay, so the section 140 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Adult family activities. Yeah, 39 to 42. Transportation, so this is the senior.
So there's the senior bus driver, but then also our buses, our drivers for day camp, as well as our bus leases from the school district.
And that's gasoline for the buses.
It can be.
Correct. So I had sent some adjustments to those lines as well.
So that's 109 versus the current 111.
And then that's it.
Library, that's the library's request.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, so they,
do we say then kitchen and
There's just
oh, thank
one,
you.
there was
Yeah,
just
so
one
the-
more, the celebrations line I'd
Oh,
like
yeah.
to address while I'm standing here.
So the library,
Can you
yeah,
go back?
we're,
Right,
It's okay.
well, yes,
that's the library's requested budget.
so we're waiting for feedback from them,
So that's the 15%.
correct? And then a historian.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so it went from 612 to 708. Okay, celebration. Oops. Memorial
Do
Day.
you want me to drive the
fireworks.
bus?
No, it's just very sensitive. It's the wheel from the mouse. It's like-
It's like I'm getting motion sickness.
Maybe if I use this.
Okay, celebration.
Yes, so the Park and Rec fireworks staff. So I wanted that to, I increased by 4,000 to also pay all the staff for the other events. So Oktoberfest, Fall Fun Fest, and right, and winter celebration. So if we could just change it to Park and Rec staff, and then have those other celebrations in that section as well.
So the the cost of the fireworks is in here as well, the 18,000.
No,
this is just,
that's below,
So
under
That's-
contractual.
So yeah, we did.
I'm just talking about the payroll line, I'm sorry.
Advance that.
They're over.
Correct, event, right, it doesn't have to be specific to fireworks, just park and rec event staff.
Yeah.
So for all of them,
Yep, and
yes.
then break them out.
And then
For
break
them.
them out, correct, I'd like to
Yeah.
add in, however we name it, definitely winter celebration and then fall fun fest or
Right.
fall events, if we combine Oktoberfest and fall fun fest.
Like the state about the fireworks, is there any requirement based upon if it's a paid crowd size or staffing, or is it supposed to be some kind of ratio that we're supposed to do, or just
No,
exercise it, but.
I say we exercise our judgment, but we also, you know, we're more managing the parking, that's the biggest, and that's where we're bringing in the most staff. Everybody else is, you know, you got a couple out on the road, I've got a couple at the pavilion, and I'm not designated anywhere, so that I can go everywhere. Right, and it's, right, exactly, it
Yeah.
changes every year.
parking runs smoothly, let's not mess with the. public.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, if it's that road,
No, it's just part, that answers the question, it has nothing to do with that. It's just
you've
part
got
of
the
it.
different fields, it's the same for the library fair, except that this is run by personnel.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
now we say thank you.
Thank you.
Now, you can,
Planning board. So,
planning's budget, yeah.
office expenses, that's flat. 117 to 123. Sorry, use the mouse again.
That's all right, that's all right.
Just
and
go
board
for a
secretary.
second, the planning board, the about the administrative. is- Oh,
Yeah, these numbers were all given me from Pearson. The planning department. Wetlands inspector, environmental consulting.
KSCJ,
Mhm.
stormwater. Also KSCJ. Recyclers. Recycling program, that's
From Joel.
that came from Joel, right? Joel is recycling. That's the
Yeah, I think that's just going to the dumpsters out here, the recycling.
okay. Mhm. Dumping and carting. Composting, it's a composting budget. I just realized this TV came on.
He's been on it.
It was much better before, we had waterfall, now you have
Oh, really?
commercials, there was waterfall, there was a
Right.
fireplace, it was very nice and relaxing, now we have commercials.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything, I thought it was like headlights from outside. Oh. Okay, so
And this is all,
dumpsters and carting, so part of this is a new building as well, right? We have additional.
The industrial dumpster over
Our
there.
refuse is 3,000 a year more for the 892.
Right, okay.
oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What'd you do?
We got rid of one and
Oh.
the other at the same time.
Okay,
Here
okay. So
Okay.
composting is the same.
we go. These are flat. Cemeteries, this also came from Joel.
Garden club,
The
oh yeah, cemeteries, yeah, Rockland's fine.
The garden club is
32,
not
37.
flat, it's a
No,
wonderful
the next-
contribution to the.
I mean, flat at last year.
Mowing,
Same expense.
the mowing line went up. a
Yeah,
bit.
going on.
We're increasing our mowing areas, we're mowing some areas, we used to do less frequently, we're doing them more frequently.
Okay.
We're clearing up all the walls.
State retirement, this was a big hit, but again, dictated by the state.
Yeah, that's
That's given to
Joe.
us by New York State.
it's called. Here we go again.
Hell was not me.
We can blame it on the AWS.
It's not the thing.
To you, Tony, you've got it, it's operator error.
It's the mouse.
How I'm in the chair, it's playing the mouse. Yeah, these are all, I did kind of 4 to 5% increases on most.
Yeah.
Most costs for. Insurance and, hospital medical benefits,
That service. single
debt
bond.
service, that is what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty close to last year,
Mhm.
that's the cost of our principal and interest that we would pay
Right.
next year. On that we already have.
That's our cumulative debt service.
For next year. That's the annual.
Cumulative debt service, right. It's
Yeah,
the
but
expense
total.
total for 26, right?
Which is significantly reduced from what it was.
Well, there was a ban
Right.
there before, but we paid off the ban with fund balance. So now we just have the existing bond debt. That's already been issued.
Which is a lot for,
And that's just the bond, the town, not associated with like the overage bond.
Right.
from years ago.
This is the general funds portion.
Yes,
What's the term of this? Let's say.
I want to say the 2024 bond was what, 20 years?
2024 bond was. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of the auditor's presentation.
Yeah, I don't think it's 15,
No,
either 20 or.
maybe
plus.
even 30.
I can look it up, but I can get back to you. But
It's fine.
So here's where you see the general fund appropriation goes from 11.5 million to 12.3. Okay,
And so next is highway. You want to do the highway revenue first, because that's.
yeah, that's easy. So it's
Basically the same as last year, except for that, I did move highway to a money market account, so they're earning interest now. Wow. That's really the only news in revenue, and then John can probably speak about the highway expenses if he.
When issued the outset, we're talking about, with the equipment, right, they moved,
Yeah.
at the outset.
Yep, so John's request for equipment was $250,000, which I'm suggesting we appropriate from the highway fund balance. So that it doesn't hit the budget. He can go into details about what he's requesting with that. He's got, aging fleet as everybody else does.
and I can testify because I've seen those old pieces of equipment.
So, alright, so that's gonna be
Yeah.
covered, alright, so that's gonna be.
Well,
With the highway fund balance.
is that what you would like to be?
No, cause
I
I
didn't
wanna
think so.
keep it around 20%, so
Yeah.
I might as well just leave it in there. And then if I need to buy a truck, I come and ask for. A resolution to pull from that.
Okay.
As opposed to putting it in there, I'm depleting a reserve. Which should, stay close to 20% of my operating budget.
You said it was like 1
Yeah, if I have a $5 million budget, somewhere around, a million plus. And in 27, those trucks we ordered, one was bonded. One we're pulling from that, they're 280 each, so. The reserve's gonna be nowhere near where it should be. So I wouldn't wanna do that.
you wouldn't want to do the what?
I wouldn't wanna pull any money from their reserve, it
Oh.
should stay right in this, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Reserve to
Okay.
buy.
Yeah.
To keep it as an expense.
Right.
Yeah, I'd rather,
Yeah.
It's also keeping a rainy day fund.
well, God forbid we have a hurricane or,
Go back to this thing you made earlier about the borrowing with capital expense. Wouldn't this be an example where we would,
We can borrow, but
with all the
that's
capital expenses that we're gonna have, all of the,
Yeah.
additional
My goal is
vehicles,
to do a mix
highway,
of borrowing.
one big, yeah.
Yeah, so we can go to bond
Especially
or
with the low
go to
rates.
debt service, but. John's right, I don't want it to come to the highway fund balance,
Right.
but.
No, I agree. Should not.
I also wanna have a responsible approach to borrowing and how we're gonna levy the taxes the way that they are. It's gotta come from somewhere.
well, then I'd rather the money just stay in the reserve, making interest. Then pull it out and put it in the operating budget. I'd rather just leave it where it is.
Well, it wouldn't go
But
into the
it-
operating budget.
No, it can't.
Into the,
Okay,
That's what that's what John wants. He wants to take it
Yeah.
from the operating budget rather than use, the fund balance there.
no, but you're saying, what you were just saying, shouldn't do is take money from your fund balance, but it's towards the operating budget.
You guys are confused now.
I think what John is saying is,
Yeah.
he doesn't wanna take, he suggested 250,000. What was it, 250?
That's part of the budget.
As part of the budget.
Budget with that.
Correct, and I thought what Amy was saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we could take that 250 from the fund balance. And put it on that line.
You
there,
keep saying
in the
fund
operating
balance,
budget.
you mean the town's fund balance or the highway reserve? Those are two very different things.
Yes.
Don't want that to happen, and I think that she was saying that 250 could be filled with highways balance.
Yeah, I'd
That
rather
line.
leave that money
Right.
making money, and if I need it, I come ask to utilize it. Cause if we pull it, then I'm nowhere near my 20% reserve. And then when I have to write a check for a truck in 27, I'm even farther away from that.
Right, so the only option then is to borrow.
Right.
It has to come from somewhere unless you're gonna levy the taxes higher.
Well, I'd rather just take it out of there at the moment than borrow money. It's not like I have something ready to go. I wanted a way to save money moving forward for capital improvements. But I don't wanna borrow money and then be forced to, I got, like I already feel guilty. My predecessor borrowed money and then couldn't order trucks. We're all waiting on those trucks till 27. I don't wanna put myself in that position. As much as I want a
Great.
as much as I want a capital improvement budget. I don't wanna pull it from the reserve. And I don't wanna borrow from it. I'd rather just sit. Well, I'd rather just sit on
Somewhere,
Well, then I'd rather just figure it out next year than,
yeah.
Okay.
I
He
don't,
wanted to start, he was hoping to start. the
Yeah,
line
I don't
was
wanna,
amended.
borrow money just to say, and have, the whole point is to save money, not to, you don't borrow money to save money. Doesn't make sense to
John,
me.
you're expecting to need a budget of a couple $100,000 annually.
Our newest truck's in 2020, that's, 6 years old and. Some of you saw every snowstorm, 2022 or 2002, 2003, 4.
So yeah,
for one from
So-
lesson two.
Like, maybe every year, every other year, be adding to this fleet,
but I think you told us some time ago that if you looked in historic budgets, we used to have a capital budget or, there were some.
yeah, that's
essentially-
a long time ago, and
Right.
sadly, in
So-
2000, a 6-wheel truck was $100,000, and now it's closer to 3, the value of a dollar.
What I'm getting at is ultimately that needs to be in the budget.
It
Like,
does,
I'm not,
but-
like, interest rates are low now. Not averse to borrow, but ultimately that has to be in the budget, like that.
We have
that
to put it
amount.
somewhere.
Well, that's.
So that's.
But that's, but in the budget, in terms of taking money to put into a capital fund.
That's fine, yes.
Yeah.
Right, somewhere.
Not to say I want a truck and I'm gonna put it in here.
Right,
No,
and that's-
no, you go into a capital
100%.
budget, and then if that budget started blowing up because you weren't using it, then you would trim the amount that's going in every year, whatever, but you manage a line that was, a capital line that was about that big, so there's no magic to it, eventually, we either have to put it in there,
over the
something,
tax
get
cap.
like, so if that's too traumatic this year, and you need those trucks, maybe we're borrowing, because we got no, but we must be open with ourselves that there's no magic, it has to go in the budget.
Yeah, I mean,
But I-
Back in.
Yeah,
one day I'm gonna need, that sweeper is old and tired, that's gonna be 300-400 grand there. I worked with Keller towards a grant, I won't know till the end of the year if we get
Well,
one,
that's,
that would
yeah,
be great, I
Yeah.
think it pays for 75%, so. We get a $400,000 piece of equipment for 100, but. I'm sure I'm not the only person who applied for that grant, so fingers crossed, but I won't know till the end of the year, but. That's a big ticket item that we're gonna need in the near future.
And there is county money, I think I told you, there's county money for a street sweeper, potentially not right now. Cause we're competing with other municipalities and we've already drawn.
And that's a
some
hard
county money.
piece of equipment to share, cause everyone's street sweeping March and April.
Right.
You know, we do March and April, another town do later in the year, yeah. But then, someone blows a hydraulic line, we go out there, clean up the road, it's nice to have. We're gonna pave, it's nice to clean the road right before that, it's, we use it, but we definitely use it,
Right,
March and April.
right.
It's just a very expensive, very
There's
complicated.
only so much sharing you can do.
Yeah,
as the
certain
highway
things
department.
are seasonal.
So this is the line where you had that 200,000 review, because we took it
So
back
I mean,
out.
my idea was to use fund balance to give him a capital appropriation, but if he wants to put it back in the budget. We just have to figure
It's
out how to pay for it.
3%.
I just don't want to deplete my reserve.
Well,
I
but
agree.
yeah, that which leads into the separate and apart from that, in the core operations aspect of highway, there's 300,000 cut, and I am, adamant that the road resurfacing and paving line has to be put what's is requested by the highway superintendent. And this is something that I quote, Dana, this going back to 2008, and I agree with him. We have to get back out of operations that we have.
You're talking about a different topic now. so
I'm talking about the
okay,
operation,
so-
yeah.
But let's.
I'm here to talk about whatever topic you want to talk about.
I'm not joking around, just talking the next line.
There you go.
Was to appropriate, like, it's not inappropriate to take fund balance for capital purchases, that's what it's meant for.
Yeah,
But I totally respect.
yeah, just feel like by
taking this
27,
approach, and I
that reserve,
I go 100%.
that reserve is gonna be 10% of my operating budget, and I just don't wanna be there.
Right,
If there's a way we could do it where we take a little bit from your reserve just to start building it up.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of like come back to when I was standing here last time. The only way I can build up that reserve is to save money at the end of the year. I didn't do 50 grand worth of tree work. I didn't do 50 grand worth of paving. I had someone retire and I waited a couple months to hire someone.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm shorting services
You don't.
to save money.
Yeah.
It's the only way at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, do I like it? No, but that is the only way at the
Yeah.
moment. So I would just like a way moving forward. That truck, that's 300 grand, I know I need it in a year or two. I go 3 years without buying anything, I had 300 grand. Or if I needed 2 pickups, that's gonna be 150, say it was 150, that year that's gone.
Yeah.
And if to save up for those bigger ticket items. A lot of our just equipment is very, very expensive.
yeah,
So what's the
Thanks.
plan for addressing this new capital budget?
So
idea?
there's two approaches, right? You can go over the tax cap and allocate some of that money towards the capital budget. Or you can appropriate the fund balance.
So I guess I
Two ways
meant,
of doing
are
it.
we going to be looking at that in an imminent session? And then, if we have X number of items, then, and we say, yeah, we desperately need all those things. We're gonna take that number and we're gonna decide how it gets funded, and maybe
That's right.
maybe it's a split, like some bonding, and then, but then ultimately that would have to feed back into this operating budget here with either new debt service or stuff.
well, no, not the debt service, because the debt service doesn't hit until,
If it's
Then that's
advanced,
like-
whatever, so then at least if there's a cash portion, then it would be
right,
out of the reserves here or something, so that's gonna happen in the next.
Well,
That's the decision we have to.
yeah,
Okay.
So just building on Dan's, so when we were talking about a law line, so based upon, we got the presentation as part of the audit where we were end of 24, and then based upon what we've utilized 1.8 million or whatever, so we're at
Right.
about, what, 5,
We're around
6? More, five. Yeah.
That uses in 2025, or general fund. John's highway
Is separate.
is separate,
Right, this highway
and it will
general.
be used for
So,
highway.
so the general is, our best estimate right now is where we're at.
5.3,
Okay, so 5.3 equates to percent is of operations where we're supposed.
50%,
So
we're
it's-
at 11 million or $12 million in general expenses.
So the 5.3 would be about 50,
Yeah, we're at 12.
and we want to be at 45.
Five.
We want to be at 45.
So
45 is the sweet spot.
Right.
But
But
it's
it's
in a very,
our
very
fund
low.
balance policy is actually
Yeah.
20%.
Right,
right,
so there's some wiggle room there.
yeah. So that 5% equates to how much dollars approximately?
100%.
5% of the reserves.
45%, yeah. Because that gets building on, where Dan's talking about and where that, where that's available, so.
Right,
So
So
it's 5.3 divided by.
5.3. We were in excess of.
that's about 2.
1.6 million, we were in excess.
Right,
of the
so
45.
5.3, so
Five-
1% is 50,
5% of the 5.3 is
265,
265.
which is I think the exact, the value.
That's highway fund balance,
Right,
you can't.
We can't
Yeah.
touch the highway.
Right, so that's what we have for to stay above the 45, sounds like for capital expenditures. The 265
No,
we're
you're-
talking about.
If you want to stay at the 45, yeah.
On the general fund side.
I think John worked some of his numbers to move stuff around to if, right, I don't want to take away,
What line are we on right now?
wherever you want to be.
Well, let's see, let's go back to where, okay, this is all pretty flat.
Right, so I think Mary will put the two back in, that's what you want to do, John?
Where is it coming from though?
It's the tax, you either like taxes or you.
People in this room.
Well, we can defer this conversation until we have that capital budget conversation.
Yeah, we need to have the quote with CMA, find
Yeah.
out about the bond rates, because you have to look at that, right? It's
Right,
really
yeah.
low, 2.5%.
Yeah,
But in order to build up the capital fund for future purchases, we can certainly contribute towards that. Little at a time.
Yeah, like I said, say for easy numbers, if it was 100 a year, if that
Yeah.
makes things easier.
I was just gonna say that.
And I know I need another 6-wheeler. I know I'm not getting any equipment for 3 years. And there's that truck, or like I said, if I need
Yeah,
one pickup truck that year, that's that, or if I needed a small dump truck, maybe I gotta pull 50 from my reserve, use that 100, at least it's like progress towards
Yeah.
capital.
Yeah.
it's a possibility of state grants.
Instead of 250, can't we do right now, bring it down to 150?
that's a question for John.
Yeah, I mean, if that makes things easier, like I said, this is progress, it didn't exist for the last 10 years, so.
Great.
If 250 is, a lot to start with, I'm grateful for any capital
Okay.
investment.
So what do you think about putting instead of 150, 200 as a
You're
placeholder?
going the wrong way.
Okay, so 150, so we put
Already
150.
sweating over here. Must be the heater behind him.
Okay,
Like I said, I'll be grateful for a step in the right
That's right.
direction. I'm not here to be greedy by any means.
Yeah,
Right.
But unfortunately, the equipment we use is very expensive. Couple years ago, a pickup truck was 40 grand. Now, a step above crank windows, power windows and 4-wheel drive. You're looking at a $60,000 pickup truck.
yeah,
It's crazy. To me, it's just the value of a dollar is not what it used to be. It's not that the truck is fancier and more expensive.
and there are
It's
other,
just our dollars.
So-
there are other
So
factors beyond our
Yeah.
control involved in vehicles as well.
Like I said, a truck in 2000, a 6-wheel dump truck that we go out plowing and salting with was right around 100 grand.
yeah,
The cabin chassis now is 120.
right.
Assembled and built is 280.
So let me ask you a
It's just
question.
crazy.
Would we use that line, or would there be a separate appropriation code for
Yeah,
capital?
basically we'll add it to the tax cap sheet, we'll have a capital line, and
Okay,
it'll be part of the tax cap
Right.
calculation, but. Again, we're already at 14%.
So 150.
so, okay, so let's continue in the.
Yeah, I definitely want John to feel supported, the equipment is important. We'll
It's
put it,
essential.
absolutely, and we'll put it back in.
And like I said, we'll keep looking for grants,
Yeah.
for our state level.
And if you want phase in that line, then put in 150. The understanding, when we go forward, we're gonna have to borrow 100.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
again, I'm not like crazy about that, we need to build up the line, but if you want to on-ramp for it, I'm okay
No, I think
with
it,
doing something like
yeah,
that.
that's your long-term plan. You wanna add 100 every year, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, we gotta start somewhere.
Right.
If 250's, too big of a jump. I'm grateful to get the 150.
Just at 100.
At this rate,
Okay,
But again, this one, want you to feel
Okay.
supported, and
Thank you.
we're gonna.
Don't get me started on that. I'll, twist it up.
okay, so basically what we have here, and that's taking out the 250, we have 24, almost 25%. With maintenance of roads.
Right.
But, all right, so we'll move on.
Alright, so we're letting John continue?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
So-
put it down to whatever one you.
so road repair maintenance, so yeah, so here's the paving, road resurfacing and paving. So last year we bumped you up 300%.
So that line.
Yeah.
That line is when I have a repair to do, if I cut open for a pipe, potholes, I got a low spot, I gotta bring it up, I gotta replace a curb. We're doing more and more pipe work, I'm changing every rusty pipe on any road I'm gonna pave. Some, I get sinkholes that I'm not paving, I still have to fix. That I've asked to go up as a direct correlation to being hopeful that the line below it goes up. If the line below it is not going up, I'd recommend that go to 125. And then all those lines below that were adjusted, we should be able to like smooth that out and kind of come up with a wash, because I'd rather see the lines below that stay where they are than that go up and the others go down, if that makes sense.
When you say,
Yes.
when you say, yeah,
I think that the road resurfacing line should be a minimum, that's 626, a minimum of 150 over that. So that would be 776.
so let me just say something about
Who's
that.
that consultant?
So
Right.
that's the other thing. Like I said, when I was here the other day, I pulled the trigger on that. Dragging my feet saved us some money. Guy offered 15% off as the end of the year.
Right.
So we're good on 2 years for that. Obviously, I can spend that 26 grand like nothing. That's
It blinks.
saving on my 10
Sure, add it up.
again. Like I said, we did $856,000 in paving in a week. It's crazy, but that's what it is. So obviously I can utilize that 26, but circling back to, I'd rather that 26 be on the repair line, because parts and fluids and everything to maintain these expensive vehicles is not going down anytime soon, so if we gotta move things around, everything below there, I think if we set that line right there,
This line of electric.
hold on, I can't read from here,
Oh,
even
so
so many
for me-
glasses.
So if we change that 200 to 125,
If you change the 5112 to 125,
yep, that's that line.
yep,
You don't want me to make changes.
No,
We'll do it.
we'll note it for the preliminary.
and so if you change that frees up 75. And then if, like I said, I can easily use
So
the
that you could
26.
put that 75 back into the mulch
Back
and the catch
into-
basin.
Yeah, the lines below,
Yeah.
so the mulch and debris, the catch basin and pipe, I was on the
I'll
fence.
tell you what,
about that
let me just do that here.
Yeah.
This is my,
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanna see what it,
and then the 26,
so we're making the 200.
125.
125, so that means I'm subtracting this 75.
Yep.
Okay,
and then I pulled the 26 from that just to make things go smoother.
Right.
Below it, like I said, I can use that.
So that would be take minus the 26.
So I can do 26 off that.
Wait, did you pay for that this year?
Yeah.
For 2 years?
I used.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not gonna be.
So it's
Yeah.
97, I'll be asking.
You don't have to pay for the next 2 years, we're covered.
Yeah, but like I said, I can use that money, no problem. I know I'd ask for a separate line for it, cause like that trailer I have, it's damn near contractual. I want it to be itemized and not have to search
Yeah,
for
yeah.
13, 14 grand
50
annually to pay for a service
Yeah.
we're committed to. So then the following line, that's chips, that fluctuates depending on Albany.
Same as the.
Right.
So then the next line, I wanted to bring up the 25 that was removed. Bring it back to where it was. The basin, Mulberry. And then the following line, I wanted to bring back up to where it was, the 50.
The catch basins?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm way over budget on that, I'm still changing pipe and
But
basin.
but that's, related to the paving as well, right? So.
No,
No,
It is, that wasn't increased, but
Because when you and I spoke the other day. In fact, the reason we reduced the 50 is because we reduced 200 from the paving.
yeah, but what I'm saying right now is, I'm over budget on that now.
Right,
And I'm not even done doing that kind of work for the year.
okay.
So if anything, I almost need that to go up.
Yeah.
So I'll work with it staying like plateauing for this year,
Okay,
but probably next year I'll be asking to increase that.
my understanding from what John's explained is that the catch basins and pipes, the investment in that is so the road repair and, you know, road resurfacing and paving takes and lasts longer and is done properly.
Yeah.
if you're not paving, you're not replacing potentially.
My understanding is a
he's still doing it all.
That falls apart because it's rusty, and then the road crumbles, you have to repair. And
What I'm saying is, I did $856,000 in paving this year. I already spent 150 plus on basin and pipe.
Right,
So I plan to do that much paving, if not more next year. That's gotta stay the same or go up. It absolutely can't go down.
So you need approximately the same ratio.
So you wanna put the 50,000 back in there?
Yes, please.
He wants the 50,000 back in there.
It's not that I want, I need.
But
our community needs it.
Yeah.
okay,
And then the equipment. The 51,130,0400. That it went down.
51. Oh, 130, 400 here is.
I was thinking you would have new trucks that maybe wouldn't need repairs, but.
No. I've been sending out the ones that.
Yeah.
The ones that are in good shape, I've been sending out to get sandblasted and painted. And that's been costing 5 to 7 grand a year. I'm protecting our investment. Like I said, these trucks are flirting with 300 grand. We got, we can wash them as much as we can, but, we gotta sandblast them and paint them, or we've been doing some painting in-house. Take care of them, not to mention parts. I need a hose for the back truck the other day. A 10-foot hose was $3,500.
It's like taking care of a family car, that you have to change the oil, you have to balance the suspension. You have to take care of it so it lasts.
Alright, so if the math is mathing up there.
the math is mathing.
Pulling from
Yeah,
from the road repair line,
putting it back.
if we pull the 26 from the resurface, everything should wash out, we should have a grand to play with. Did that go as planned?
I lost you there. Got a grant to play with. Where?
He took
Like-
25 and added 20, no, he. Put 26 out and then 25 back in.
Oh,
I pulled 26 from there and I put 25 in the repair, we're
Right,
left with $1,000. Put it towards paving, put it towards whatever.
oh, so this 25, it goes back in.
Yeah, I bumped that up a year ago, because I needed that to increase. So with those adjustments, we really should all have $1,000 remaining from these alterations. Does that make sense?
it does.
Does it make sense to anyone else in the room?
Yes.
Yes.
We're nodding in affirmations.
Okay,
Oh,
Alright, so yeah, like Rich said, and I know Dan will get on board, and I'd like to thank everyone else, well. We can prep the roads, we can get them ready and. Whoever our bidder is for the year. I can do that 800 grand in paving, no problem. You know, I'd like to see that,
So what we have here, you're okay with right now?
yeah. Basically, all that stuff stayed the same and, the 51-12-0400 only went up 15 grand as opposed to going up to 200.
Right. Okay,
Anything else?
let's see,
Winning lottery ticket.
we had. Yeah, let's see here. Let's see what else we have. This is all salt removal. The salt, we increased by 30,000.
Oh, I increased it, but I brought it back to where it was the year
Yeah.
before.
Oh, okay,
No, you know, it was that when I inherited Pete's old budget. We had some money to play with a year ago. I bought those 2 trailers.
right,
I was grateful for the things I got a year ago, so when you asked if we could cut that, I said, sure. It was a gamble and, you know, we're good till the end of the year on salt, but every winter's different. Now, unfortunately, we're salting these 1-2 inch snowstorms more than plowing a 5-6 inch snowstorm. I would rather plow, you know, larger accumulations of snow
right,
then salt a half an inch, it turned to freezing rain, salt it again, then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
snows an inch. They're painful, but sadly, that's what we
In
get these
so many
days.
ways.
this is all, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the highway portion.
So about last year, what did we use
Debt
for the last
service.
season?
For salt,
Yeah, can you calculate that or?
it was somewhere around 120, 130. That's why I was comfortable changing it to that.
Okay,
Now, there are years, it's just gonna be different every year.
because of the small events, it's, you know,
Yeah,
So you have.
I mean, I feel like the year I started, it rained a lot in the winter.
It did.
And then we get cold at night and we'd be, you know, coming in to salt in the middle of the night and we didn't really have a lot of wet winter last year. The year I started, we did, and I don't know, it's always different.
Any idea where salt prices are?
It's around the same, it's like 78 a ton.
It's not like gold.
Okay, so your debt service is lower because of the
Yeah,
Band?
paying off the band.
pay off the ban. It's good, so basically we have 5 million, a little over. Versus 5.4. 7.6% increase. Okay. Should I dare? Okay, look at the tax cap.
Go for it.
Oh, God.
13.9%, actually, yeah. A little bit.
Look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Good job.
You need me for anything else or? I was doing
Don't call us cheap with you.
Stand there any longer. Spend more money. Sorry, so it was from 1,067,000 to 1,000,008.
Yeah. That's right, not enough, but.
That's something.
I'll take it.
We have more work to
So-
do, but that's okay.
Yeah. We'll keep working on it
Yeah,
and.
work to do.
Yep. All right, any other questions on this? I mean, you guys will, and I'll send the PDF I sent, but I guess with the preliminary, we need to work on,
Well, when did we have to have the preliminary by? I don't remember the dates.
November 20.
preparation of preliminary is through November 21st.
Okay.
And
So-
then we have,
Not
so
that I wanna,
our adoption date is the 25th.
no, the adoption,
after the changes from tonight, I know. I just wanna,
Do you want it in Excel or PDF?
Yes.
you want this?
Yeah.
file? No.
One of each. Okay, one of each.
We'll do
Sure.
both. We'll still run it.
Sure.
Yeah. The adoption of the budget, as required by the county is December 20th.
yes,
Right.
Our target date is December 8th.
for the public hearing.
No, for the adoption,
Okay,
but we could, we have to look at the meeting schedule,
Right.
but I think we're meeting December 10th. So,
So we're back next week for a regular meeting.
Yeah.
Eighth, Tom.
Oh, December 8th, okay.
I'm sorry,
actually,
I missed the different, the preliminary, that 21st date, what is that?
Yeah, the preliminary-
When it gets issued or?
The preparation of preliminary is through November 21st.
And then
That's what we have flexibility.
Probably, that's.
And then we have
Do we have to agree,
Preliminary will be on the.
we have to agree to put that out to the public, ask the public.
That's right.
And then if we don't vote, if the budget fails, then that becomes the budget for next year until
But we have to have the public hearing by December 10th. We have it scheduled for November 24th.
Okay.
But, yeah,
Last year, I think we did.
Last year
We had a
we-
hearing and then we adopted it right away.
correct, right, so we could wait till December 8th to do the hearing and adopt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But if anyone has any other ideas, questions, send them over to Annie. And then we'll.
Our
You'll be-
comptroller,
I'll come
It'll be
forward.
gifted still, so we have, yeah, the 5, so 5.3, if we could just clarify what our. Is most up to date we have as far as the
The fund balance.
the fund balance year to date and percentages and what's. Based upon what the orders and what would be available,
Yeah. Go back to. the-
stay within our, you know, targeted threshold of, you know,
45%.
yeah.
Yeah, we can have to calculate that now, but.
Yeah, no.
No, just, we put it together,
Because
right?
I'm looking at it for the capital.
When you-
tax.
When you put it together, like we were talking about, the 265 as that piece to stay within 45 and
Right,
use that.
I just wanna make sure I have everything captured that we did use it for.
No, that's
Yeah.
the calculation you get ready to do when you
Yeah.
can, so. Just
Okay,
communicating next step.
Got it.
Right.
yeah, and I think we need to, as we stated earlier, I mean, we need to. Prepare
So-
for other expenses that we may
Right,
have.
and this is what I was saying, this is this sheet that will add a line for capital. And it'll be factored into the tax calculation. So. Adding that line in, that's how you do it.
All right. We're good?
we are.
We're good, all right, so,
Right,
thank you, Annie.
thank you,
very
no
much.
problem.
And,
Email me with any questions or if you wanna call, go over.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
the- Claims tonight, right?
what's that?
You gotta pay claims or no?
No,
You know, we're in, okay.
Next week.
Yeah, so we're-
Mine.
oh, was that yours? Here's mine. I just wanna read
you
from
can
it.
use it, that's fine.
Okay, so, yeah, there's no executive session, so we're,
I'm gonna make a motion to go into executive session because the town attorney just texted me and told me he's available, so I prefer to handle this tonight.
oh, okay. All right, fine, so I motion that we go into executive session to discuss a attorney-client. Which issue? No, second,
Second.
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The next meeting is. No, is next Monday, November 10th at 7:30 PM here at the townhouse. So thank you, everyone here in the room for coming out. And everyone over Zoom, and don't